Rudy, this is your chiropractor. Stop moving the goalposts. Your back just can't take it. Rudy Giuliani said there's nothing wrong with taking information from Russians, but then added, I probably wouldn't. That's like getting to the top of the death drop and seeing your friend who said it was safe over by the gift shop eating a churro. The only information we should take from Russians is how illegal science can create the perfect boxer, whether or not there are cats in America, and the profession of who currently is on the roof. Though if any of the president's lawyers would defend Russian intel, it would be the guy who looks most like a Tetris piece. Oh man, he never fits right. Obsessing about Twitter followers? At least the president has more in common with Gen Z than just being bad at his job. Trump invited the CEO of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, to complain about losing Twitter followers, and the plot of Idiocracy 2 keeps writing itself. Dorsey told the president his quote-unquote lost followers were bots as opposed to the rest of his followers who are drones. Twitter doesn't have a liberal bias, Mr. President. It's perfect for terrified Republicans whose cumulative reaction to the Mueller report is definitely under 280 characters. Trump's social media director was there, a walking reminder the defense budget isn't all we're wasting our tax dollars on. Twitter is apparently considering censoring the president's bullish tweets, which, let's be honest, would be best. How is the anti-cyberbullying crusade going, Mrs. Trump? Did you know your husband just called a former congressman a psycho? That's like finding out Nancy Reagan was telling us to just say no while Ron was shooting heroin in the Rose Garden. Trump's fighting so many subpoenas, it's now the second Stonewall you can see from space. The president said if impeached, he'd go to the Supreme Court. The best argument yet, he hasn't read the Constitution. Sir, as I said the first time I saw Superman 2, they don't have that kind of power. Unless he means for moral support. Dad, Congress won't let me sleep over at the White House anymore. The administration's hard at work blocking all investigations, a sort of congressional oversight to Kempe Mutombo, a phrase that if you can say after last call means you're definitely sober enough to drive home. Stephen Miller won't testify, either to avoid questions on immigration, or because they need time to boil the griffin wing, boar tusk, and children's tears needed to summon him. Washington defense attorney William Jeffress called the president's stonewalling risky, and who knows hazardous choices better than a former Nixon lawyer and a guy going with a mustache in 2019. Biden's poll numbers are like his hair. Right now, he's at 28%. Joe Biden has officially announced his candidacy and is immediately leading the polls for names pronounceable on the first try, citing Trump's Charlottesville fine people on both sides comments as the breaking point when he knew he had to gauge interest in an exploratory committee for 619 days before picking a politically advantageous moment to make it official. Sorry, it's just hard to see your conscience-driven call for civic duty behind the 20 people who announced before you. And sure, he's apologized for past behavior, but it would be nice if the Democratic selling point isn't that we're better at scandal remorse. And no, Mr. Vice President, the shadows hanging over your campaign don't count as a diversity hire. Cool? Cool.